Hello, friends and fellow aliens out there. My name is David. If you don't know who I am, I'm an INFJ. I write things. I wrote a book. I'm working on it. And sometimes I'm silly enough to turn on a camera and talk to it and post it. And I don't really know why. But hi. I'm also weird and a little awkward. Right. Which is actually the perfect segue into this video. 5 reasons why INFJs can be difficult. Can be difficult to deal with, difficult to be in a relationship with, difficult to be friends with, difficult to have as a family member. Just, yeah, we can be a little weird. And so that's what I want to talk about, and I'm going to give you my 5 reasons, and also talk about something called Spidercows, because Spidercows are a problem for INFJs, and I will explain that a little bit later in this video. So stick with me. Let's go over some fun stuff, and maybe a little bit of a trigger warning here, because some of you are going to be like, hey, this is a personal attack. It's not a personal attack. It just applies to you. It's fine. It's fine. It's great. It's really, really great. Anyway, here's what I'm going to do. Let's throw out an intro because I like the music and the graphic cost me $20, so I need to use it. And then we're going to go over these 5 reasons. So here we go. Five reasons INFJs can be difficult to deal with. Reason number 1 on my list is that we can be highly indecisive. A surefire way to make sure that anybody that I'm around or talking to is completely and totally aggravated with me within 30 seconds is to ask me to pick a place to go eat. I don't know what it is about that question, but I can't really handle it. And I was thinking about this and trying to like, just in terms of your INFJ cognitive functions. And by the way, people, if you don't know what an INFJ is, link is in the description. Please don't be that person that watches the entire video for however long it is and then makes the comment and says, what's a INFJ? And then gets mad at me, gives me the thumbs down, and hurts my feelings. You do. You cut me deep, people. You cut me deep. Anyway, yeah, indecisiveness. So tell me to pick a place to go eat. And here's what I think happens. I want to please everybody, right? I have extroverted feeling high in my cognitive function stack. I want to make sure that nobody's unhappy. Now, that is difficult to do when one person's like, I just want to eat all the meat, and another person's like, I just want to eat the veggies, and another person's like, I don't want to eat anything, I'm just thirsty for some water, and somebody else just wants to go home. And it's really difficult to make everybody happy in that kind of a scenario. So you go ahead and shove that on me, who has a strong desire to make everyone happy, and sometimes has a very difficult time thinking somebody's going to be upset with them because I've picked a place to go chow that nobody wants to go chow at. And it's just really difficult. And so the way it usually works out, I'm like, well, I'll eat anywhere, wherever you're going to be happy eating food. And inevitably somebody's like, well, just pick a place then, because it doesn't matter to any of us. And I'm like, well, I actually like physically, psychologically am incapable of doing so. I can't do that because I just want to eat wherever you want to eat. So please drag me somewhere, and I don't care where it is. I'll eat anywhere. Just don't make me make the decision, because then somebody's going to be unhappy and it's going to be all my fault. It's no good. It's no good. Inevitably, this conversation just turns into like, oh my gosh, you're so aggravating. Why can't you make a decision at all about anything ever? And, you know, so somebody will drag us out to some place that's just like, you know, Frank's like transmission garage and salad bar, and I'll just be sitting there eating whatever on a dirt floor, and that'll be great, and I'll be happy because I didn't make the decision to go there. Oh, INFJ brain. You're so great. You're so great. Number 2 on my list. INFJs are notoriously awful at self-care. This kind of hits on that extroverted feeling thing once more. because we want to make sure that there's harmony in the group, right? That the people within our lives, within our circle of friends, that they're happy and we're taking care of them and taking care of their needs. And as a result, our needs are just trash. There's this one little thing that I could do that would make me really, really happy, but you're mildly unhappy, so I'm going to spend all of my time making you feel better, not get that one thing that I need, and eventually just break down and sob in the shower in a crumpled heap at the bottom with water that's cold raining down on me. But you'll be happy, and I'm fine. I'm totally fine. It's really good. I'm really, really good. Yep. I think kind of what it comes down to is, how can I make sure other people are at their best if I'm not at my best? And then, what does it take to be at my best? Because if I'm running myself ragged and I'm burning the midnight oil and I'm using all sorts of cliches, candle at both ends, doing double duty, sweating and slaving, pulling an all-nighter, working overtime, if I'm doing all those things on myself and I'm piling all of that onto myself, when do I have time to feel okay and balanced? So when somebody really does need my help or my advice, that I'm able to give it to them in a reasonable way where I'm thinking clearly. And that's a very difficult thing to do when you don't take care of yourself. But we spend so much time focused on others that we ignore it. And when you ignore that, you start to break down and you start to have that really hard time. And then, you aren't really seeing things with clarity, are you? And so you really do need to take care of yourself. And by taking care of yourself, it better helps you take care of others. And sometimes that means telling other people, hey, you need to leave me alone today. I need to go do my own thing. And I need to do it in the way that I want to, so I feel okay. And I promise you, I will come back tomorrow and I will be 1000% better. Because I will have spent all day not talking to anybody or any people or going anywhere or doing anything, because sweet, sweet solitude. It's so good. The third one on my list is that we can be weird. Look, as INFJs, we typically have a very vivid internal world. Our minds are going, even when we don't want them to, 100 miles an hour in 100 different directions, 100% of the time. And it can be a little strange being in there, because we have all these thoughts and things connecting in different ways. And then all of a sudden, like I'm doing right now, you remember something that's just completely silly and disconnected from the reality that you're in. And it makes you laugh in some way. Or we can just be kind of eccentric people. Throughout most of my life, I've had, in working environments, multiple times, in different people in different places, have said to me, like, you are an enigma. I don't understand you. And I don't understand why you are the way you are. But hey, I guess I'm kind of grateful that you're here and working for this company, even though you're a legit weirdo. And I'm like, I'm not weird. It's not like I'm having my favorite drink out of a Viking skull mug every other moment of the day, right? Right. It's not weird. It's my favorite. And we do this. And as part of our identity, I think, or a little bit of an identity crisis, and possibly due to a low FI, right? Introverted feeling, which is in our shadow stack. And so we have these things that we do and we attach to that just kind of give us that little part of our identity or whatever else that a lot of people just don't understand. It's totally cool, but not everybody can take it. It's one of the reasons people find INFJs annoying. They're like, what are you even? Like, what are you? I don't know, man. I'm an overthinker. That's what I am. Spidercows. We're going to get into Spidercows real soon. Fourth on my list is INFJs. We can be moody. And I think this is, again, due to our extroverted feeling and how we just kind of absorb the emotions of others. It's an empathy thing. And so no matter where we are, we have this kind of this chameleon aspect to ourselves where we change. We change our mood, our everything about us can change just in an instant. And it could be from something that's small that's said that triggers us in some way that all of a sudden just drags our mood down like an anchor in the ocean. Or it could just be somebody that's bubbly and happy and super extroverted. And for a time, we're around that and like a hot air balloon. We're just up in the air with them and being crazy and having all sorts of fun. Of course, afterwards, it can get pretty depressing because the change into a different mood is very jarring, and it can hit you really, really quick. Because of that, it's very difficult to know with your average INFJ, when you first see them or interact with them, what kind of a mood are they actually in, and what's going on in their sweet, sweet INFJ brain that you're not really aware of. So there could be all kinds of stuff underneath the surface that you don't see. We do wear masks. We do. It's a thing. And that's really hard for people to deal with when they are expecting somebody that's, I don't know, stable. Just like, you know what to expect when you talk to them. And I appreciate many different types for that reason. One of the reasons I really like INTJs is because I know how their brain works, and I know that logical process, and it is stable and predictable for the most part. And if it's not, you'll know. You'll know. My INTJ friends know exactly what I'm talking about, and I absolutely love you guys. You're good for INFJs, man. You thinkers, INTPs, INTJs, you are good for us. Very, very good for us. The last thing on my list is Spidercows. So, what is this all about? I put up a question on my community page. I'll see if I can throw it up there. And it was, hey, do you know what I'm talking about when I talk about Spidercows? And I was kind of surprised because this is one of my more popular videos. One that a lot of people have found me through is a video that I did on the NITI loop. And you can check it out. I highly encourage you to check it out after this one. It's an older one. It's about a year old. And I just ran through, what would your cognitive functions be like if they were individual people, right? Like, have you ever wanted to talk to intuition or introverted thinking or external feeling or external sensing? Oh, God. Yeah. And I tried to illustrate what the NITI loop is. In short, NITI loop. So introverted intuition is your primary function, right? That's how you gather information about the world, and it's just sort of absorbing everything. Extroverted feeling is your auxiliary function, right? Next in line is introverted thinking. And a lot of times what happens is we get stuck in this loop where our intuition is trying to tell us something. We skip right over the feeling part of it and try to think it. And think it, we try to think it to death. We try to beat it with thinking. We try to just think it until it's thought. And it's really not great. And because of that thinking, it feeds stuff back into our intuition, which feeds us back to the internal thinking. And so it's like if you have an instrument that's like an electric guitar or something like that, and you put it up against the amplifier, it just starts screeching in the most annoying way. Well, that's what our brains do. So that's cool. And I really like it. Also, I'm lying. It's terrible. So anyway, I'm going to play the clip from the clip of cognitive functions talking to each other from that video. Again, I encourage you to watch the whole thing because I tried to explain this a little bit more in depth in the video. But here's the part, and here's where you're going to understand why that overthinking is basically Spidercows. So here we go. I can explain this better by giving you a sort of skit walkthrough of what this is actually like in a simple scenario. This isn't going to be perfect, but it's going to be my version of whatever this is. Hi, I am introverted intuition, and I am the strongest cognitive function for an INFJ. Hello, I'm external feeling, and I like to feel things. Feeling is great. Internal thinking, I make sense out of everything. I'm external sensing, or whatever. This is bullshit. So let me illustrate a simple and straightforward example of what a healthy cognitive process might be like for an INFJ. There's a spider web in the kitchen. You left the window open last night. There's a spider in the kitchen. I will pick it up and put it outside because it should live a happy little spider life with its happy little spider family. Straightforward, right? Intuition notices a couple of things, starts putting it together in your head. Window is open, there's a spider web, there must be a spider in the kitchen. And external feeling is like, okay, spiders are creatures, and let's pick it up and put it outside because it is harmless and it should live its happy little spider life with its happy little spider family. The NITI loop, though, is going to steamroll right over external feeling. And this is what it's going to look like. There's a spider web in the kitchen. You left the window open last night. There's a spider in the kitchen. Tegenaria domestica. That is a nocturnal arachnid. Cephalothorax approximately 4 millimeters in width. No known cases of human death from Tegenaria domestica spider bites. However, that doesn't mean you won't be the first. When I was a kid, I watched Arachnophobia, and right after I watched the movie, I went outside and I was looking for spiders to squish because I was really scared because there's that one scene where there was a giant spider in the barn. It was like, and then there was a garage that I had outside the house, and the garage kind of looked a little bit like the barn. Classic revenge scenario. You know, spiders can lay over 1,000 eggs, which could probably easily overwhelm a human. Spiders lay eggs and chickens lay eggs, and almost every morning for breakfast I have a couple of eggs, and I usually put them. Guys, I don't think we're gonna die. Quiet you, the adults are trying to work this whole thing out. Then there was that one time where you bought a dozen chicken eggs from that lady that was on the farm, and that really nice lady was wearing a muumuu. And you were like, when are you due? And she was like, I'm not pregnant. And muumuu sounds like a cow, or at least that's a noise that a cow makes, and you were on a farm at the time. So this must mean there's a spider cow in the kitchen. I knew it. Spider cows. And, it's going to eat you. Even spider cows have feelings, you know. Wait. I hear it. I mean, it could be the dishwasher, but it's most likely the spider cow. We're gonna get eaten by a giant spider? Bruh, I only got a few minutes to live? Dude. Our only chance is to burn the house down. Now, when I overthink things, I immediately think of spider cows. Because why not? Make it the most ridiculous, illogical thing ever, because that's basically what it is. You're not thinking rationally at that moment, you're overthinking everything in the world. This is something that people have difficulty with when they're talking to or in a relationship with or anywhere within a 200-mile radius of your average INFJ. Because we do tend to get locked into our own head and spiral down this overthinking hole that just... yeah, it's not great. It's not great. It's just what happens. It's fine. Everything about it is fine. So the next time, my sweet, sweet INFJ friend, you are locked in that headspace that you cannot escape, think of this ridiculous thing, spider cows. And hopefully it makes you realize that perhaps you should take a step back. You might be being a little irrational at that moment. I mean, I'm just saying, again, trigger warning. This doesn't apply to you, but this applies to exactly you. So there's that, because it applies to me too. I hope this list has been enlightening, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I would like to know in the comments, what are some of the ways that you believe, as an INFJ, you are difficult to deal with? Even better, if you are with an INFJ, or you know one, have a good friend that is one, tell us about them. What is one way that you find them difficult to deal with, or has you just thinking like, oh, why do you have to be so INFJing all the time? Because that's what you're doing, because spider cows. So there you go. Thank you, as always, for being here and watching, and all of your support on this channel. It means a great deal to me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Take it easy.